looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. The Eagles have always sucked. The Eagles suck this year. The Eagles lost the Super Bowl, so they suck, and the Eagles will always suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching and replay this once again, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Try to fix my screen here. I try to go about 30 minutes every night. Most of the time it goes a lot longer than just 30 minutes, but I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So anybody got anything to say, just fire away, throw it in. As soon as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So don't be shy, fire away. And plus, it's nice to be able to talk to some people, instead of just me just going on and on and on and on and on. So before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. There's a link in the description box, a top link in the description box. Takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. There's loyalty badges. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Now, what it is each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet. And the older the helmet is, the older the helmet and the design of the, on the logo and all that is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. And if you get the leather helmet associated with your name, you've been a supporter of my channel for a long, long time. As of right now, there's 4 emojis. Eventually, there'll be a 5th emoji coming up, but right now there's 4 of them. I had them made up on Fiverr. They crack me up every time I look at them. There's some funny stuff there. You can use them if you're going to make a comment or in the chat box or whatever. So anybody who wants to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go down below. My dog's trying to get in. Every time I start doing it better, he doesn't do it beforehand. He doesn't do it halfway through. Always like in the beginning. As soon as I start talking, he just starts wandering on over here. So I got to spend like the next 2 or 3 minutes pet my dog. He sits right next to me. Great dog. I'm a lucky dude. Very, very lucky dude. But if you go down below, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I put out a video, I go live, whatever, you'll be notified, and it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? As of right now, I am looking live. I got 6,056 subscribers. Now I started the day. I started the day out with a little over 6,019. Okay, so I'm almost at 40. So I'm at 37 for the day so far. So I'm well on my way to possibly another 40 subscribers. Yesterday, I went over the 6,000 subscriber mark. It was a few weeks ago. I hit 5,000. I'm like, man, I didn't think I would ever hit, once I started this channel, I didn't think I'd ever hit 5,000 subscribers, much alone 6,000. It's absolutely fantastic. So please, go down, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Way next time I put a video out or go live, whatever, you'll be notified. And what do you got to lose? Once again, as I said, it's free of charge. And if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. And then finally, all right, in the description box below, 2. Okay, there's 2 Facebook links. Okay, the top Facebook link takes you to my page. I'm sorry, my group. We'll start with the group first. The top one. The top Facebook link takes you to the New York Giants, the group. Now, what I do is I try to make it where I can remember everything. Okay, so basically, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and the Facebook page. Okay, it's all called New York Giants, the Gridiron. Okay, that way even a dummy like me can remember something like that. Okay. But if you go to the group and you become a member, right? Right now we have over 2,400 members in the group. Okay. I put stuff in there every day. Okay. I try to put like at least 10 different things in there every day, whether it's a picture, whether it's it might be a picture, some making fun of the Eagles or something, making fun of the Cowboys. I might put a video in there. Could be a post on. I got something about Herschel Walker I put in there from yesterday. Or whether it's just a picture showing some stats from somebody, whatever. I put at least 10 things in there every day. And then if they become a member, not only do I put stuff in there as well, okay, but the members put stuff in there as well. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants stuff going in there every day in the group. Then if you go to the second Facebook link, okay, that takes you to my page, my Facebook page. Once again, that's called New York Giants, the Gridiron. As I said, it was all. So basically, a moron like me can't mess it up. All right, I got to remember. We just hit the 3,000 follower mark. Yesterday, the past couple of days, we were at 2,900 followers. Now we hit the 3,000. So we have over 3,000 people following the New York Giants, the Gridiron, the page. Okay, we have 640 people who like it, and it's the same thing here. Same thing with the page is the same thing as with the group. I try to put and it's every day. It's like 7 days a week. It takes time. It's not a job because if you enjoy doing something for nothing, it's not a job. It's a passion. You love doing it, but it does take time. I spend like an hour to 2 hours every day putting stuff in the page and in the group every day, 7 days a week, right? So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member. Okay, between the two, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day. I said I don't commingle them. So basically, whatever I put in the page, for the most part, I don't post on the group. And the same thing, whatever I post in the group does not go on the page, right? So there's a ton of New York Giants information every day. All right. So with all that stuff said and done and that away with, I'll tell you what, boy. Maybe there was a reason why, huh? Daniel Jones switched to Athletes First, I believe it is. The new agents, because I guess you gotta, kind of realize what you always wanted. There's a report going out, New York, from the New. There's a few of them, but I got it from the New York Post. But a lot of it's also you got to realize too. Okay, is that the Giants are coming here, right? And for the most part, most athletes aren't going to go, oh, that's what they're offering. Okay, that's cool. I'm good with that. Yeah, that's cool. Where do I sign? A lot of times, it's like the team comes in here, you want somebody to represent you, and you come in here, right? And then what actually winds up happening is somewhere in the middle. Okay. Now I'm saying whether the Giants came in at 35 and I don't know, Daniel Jones is wanting 45. And maybe the Giants, they want to meet somewhere in the middle, maybe around 40. Wow. We got from New York Post, negotiations with Daniel Jones have gotten off to a much bumpier start than expected, according to the New York Post, Ryan Dunleavy. And there could be a few reasons for that. Could be perhaps 45 million reasons for that. According to Pro Football Talk, New York Giants 25-year-old quarterback wants more than the Giants have offered, up to as much as $45 million per year or more. Holy mink, huh? Wow. Jones, who recently switched from his agents from CAA to Athletes First, is poised to enter free agency after the Giants declined his fifth-year option in April. Jones' stock has rose, which it did, obviously, yeah, after he engineered the best season of his career in 2022. His best career, not his best stat-wise. His rookie season, he threw for 24 touchdown passes. This year, he had 15. Okay, however, his rookie season, he had like 300 times the amount of turnovers. But his past season, he threw for 3,205 yards. All right, so basically, 200 yards a game, nothing phenomenal. But once again, you got to look with what he had to work with, okay? And he averaged 200 yards a game passing, which again is not phenomenal. Basically, you look at he averaged one touchdown pass a game, and 200 yards passing a game, okay? But his turnovers came way down, right? But I said, once again, what was he dealing with as far as to work with offensive weapons, okay? Let's see. Also rushed for another 708 yards and another 7 touchdowns, which is very impressive because you figure this past season alone, he ran for 7 touchdowns. His first 3 years combined, he ran for 5. And if you take out the first game he ever played in, he ran for 2 touchdowns. So if you take out that Tampa Bay game, the rest of his other, whatever you want to call it, 2.5 years in the league, he ran for 3 touchdowns. Okay. This year he got 7. All right. The Giants finished 9-7-1 in Dable's first season, and the head coach quarterback duo of Dable and Jones led the franchise to its first postseason win since February 2012. And we remember we remember February 2012. We remember what victory that was. The Giants have not had a postseason victory since Super Bowl 46. Wow, my God. Super Bowl 46. So basically, it's been, they got a victory in, I guess it would be January, right? So basically, 23. So it's been almost 11 years, almost to the month/date or whatever. 11 years between playoff victories. Wow. That's 11. That seems like a long time. But if you go from the 1956 championship game victory to 1981 when they beat the Philadelphia Eagles at the Vet, 1981 in the wild card. All right, that's 25 years. That's a lot longer. That's almost 2.5 times as length. So you think 11 years is long? Well, we've had longer. Okay, the Giants went to the playoffs between 56 and 81. 5 other times they lost every time though. So. But, nice season, right? Career best, obviously with Lowe, obviously with interceptions being with 5. I think he lost like 3 or 4 fumbles, right? Said that past performance this past year made Jones' looming free agency even more difficult to dissect. The New York Post, Paul Schwartz reported that a 5-year, $190 million deal was within the team's ballpark, which would average out to about $38 million a year. But the Giants and Jones can't reach an agreement on a multi-year contract. The team could use the $32.5 million franchise tag. But, see, the thing is, the problem with that, Dunleavy said, reported the franchise tag is very much in play, given the rocky introduction to Jones's negotiation. The team also has to weigh how navigating deals with Jones and Barkley at the same time, right? And with Jones's rising price tag, as well as the agent switch, the window to use the franchise tag they got like 2 weeks to put the franchise tag, right, to use it. They can remove it it has to be the middle of July if they come up with some type of agreement, some type of a long-term deal. They can rip up the franchise tag and start working off the deal, okay? But they have, tomorrow starts the clock ticking. They got 2 weeks to put the franchise tag on, okay? So February 21st to March 7th, they have 2 weeks to use the franchise tag if they're going to use it on Daniel Jones or on Saquon Barkley. Because I said they can put the franchise tag on, which is fine, okay, which is all fine and dandy. They said then they have February, March, April, May, June, July. Then they got 5 months to come up with some type of long-term deal, okay? Then they can rip it up, okay, and move forward. The problem is if you put the franchise tag, that's all $32.4 million guaranteed money this year. So that $32.4 million goes right toward the cap hit. So if they have, I think it's like 43 million or somewhere around there, say 43 and a half. I haven't looked, but say 43 and a half. They're going to do 32 and a half to Daniel Jones. That 32 and a half goes right into that salary cap. And now the Giants have $11 million right, to use for salary cap money. So it would behoove them to get a deal done. It would also behoove them to, then maybe restructure a Leonard Williams contract or something. Because if you got $11 million, you can't sign Saquon Barkley to a $14 million deal. I mean, even if 14, I mean, you're going to bring maybe salary cap way down or something, cap hit the first year way down. I mean, you're almost running out of money even before, and then you can't. How are you supposed to bring in any free agents? I mean, they still have time to get on the cap, but I mean, all that money goes directly, and they can't get a long-term deal done. That $32.5 million goes right toward that salary cap, right? Usually what they want to try to do is work out like a long-term deal, 3, 4, 5 years. Okay. I mean, I don't know way in heck this is going to be like a, Patrick Mahomes 10-year deal, but like maybe a 5-year deal. And try to get it where the first year, the cap hit, say the average is $40 million a year. Okay. So what they try to do is the first year, they give them like a signing bonus. That way cash right in pocket. The player's happy, right? The cap hit the first year is low, so the team is happy, right? But you can take that, say he signs for whatever. What would you say? $40 million signing bonus, just throwing a number out there, right? So they can take that $40 million and split it into 5 years. So that way the cap hit, the salary, the signing bonus gets split up $8 million for the 5 years, right? So that way his cap, will come way down the initial first year. So instead of, if his average salary, yearly salary, just say is $40 million, all right? That way maybe his first year cap hit might be $20 million. All right. So they're saving some money. But I mean, you can see where the difference is. I mean, there is no negotiation. If you're on the franchise tag, there's no, well, the first year of the franchise tag, we can drop the salary down and we can pay him later. No, it's $32.4 million. That's what's going up against the salary cap. Now, also, something which doesn't usually get done very often. Okay, but doing it 2 years in a row. Okay, that I found this was kind of funny. I mean, you could obviously you could just keep franchise tagging the dude, if you want. I saw it here somewhere. Well, I mean, you could just, okay, there it is. You could keep franchise tagging him if you want. Okay. Now, but the problem is that if you franchise tag him 2 years in a row, okay, the second year his salary goes up 120%, or basically you take 20, say it's 32.5 million. I'm just going to round it up for simplicity of this here. Okay. So basically you're giving him like $6.5 million more next year. Right. So instead of 32.5 this year, right. I mean, if you franchise tag him again next year, the salary goes up to 39 million. Right. So between this year and next year, all right, basically that would be what, over $71 million you'd be paying, but it's all guaranteed money as well too. There's no, I mean, and I said next year it's all 39 straight toward the cap, guaranteed money toward the cap. Right. Usually what you want to try to do is, obviously 5-year deal will give you $200 million, whatever, 150 million guaranteed, just throwing a number out there. That's all I'm doing. Right. So basically 75% of his money is guaranteed. So basically, if you're paying him 40 million, 30 million of it's guaranteed. Right. Here with the franchise, it's all guaranteed. Everything. So if it's 39 million next year, if he gets hurt and plays one game or whatever, something like that, you owe him $39 million. Right. And I said, it all goes toward the salary cap. Now, the other thing is I found too, was that if you tag him a third year, it's 144% of the second year salary. Holy crap. I mean, it skyrockets after that. Or it's 120% of the average of the 5 highest salaries at the 5 highest quarterback salaries. 120% of that. So say you got 5 quarterbacks, just saying, who make $50 million, just throwing a number out there. That's all I'm doing. You got to pay them 120% of that. Right. So basically that would be, you'd be paying them $60 million. Right. So you'd be paying them like 32 and a half here. Then you'd be paying them 39. Then you'd be paying them like 55 to $60 million if you did them. So it gets really expensive. You just keep franchise tagging them. So you got to, the franchise tag is cool, right? It has its priorities, purposes to it. It's good points, but it also has some bad points. I say because it's all guaranteed money. Now, obviously, you'd be saving some money. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, if you're trying to work out a deal with, instead of paying them 37 or 38 million, you're only paying 32 and a half. Okay, you certainly save yourself some money by saying, once again, it's all guaranteed money, right? So now the thing is that, the Giants could try to play hardball. Okay. They could also, obviously now a lot of the let's see, what do you got? Okay. Now there's the non-exclusive tag. Okay. Which obviously the Giants, if they wanted to, could, they could, right? Tell Daniel, go out, okay, into the world, okay, and see if you could pick up, somebody's interested in you, see what their salary is, right? See if say the Commanders, they're interested. They want to give me 41 a year. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's a bit steep for us. Okay, run along, good boy. Go sign with the Commanders, okay. But the Commanders are going to give you 2 first-round picks for that. Okay, I think, well, I can't say for sure, but I think one of them's got to be this year. I guess maybe it doesn't, but you're going to get 2 first-round picks from them. Okay, now there are definitely some teams out there. Now I saw this thing here too. I mean, everybody's got their own opinion. According to Cody Benjamin, not sure who that is. He put the top landing spots for Daniel Jones. He put the Indianapolis Colts, the Atlanta Falcons, the New York Giants, the Baltimore Ravens, the New England Patriots, and the Tennessee Titans. So he has some landing spots he could go to, right? The Colts, right? The Falcons, they could certainly use them. The Giants, yeah, we could use a quarterback. The Ravens, because they might be I don't know if they're going to be signing Jackson. I mean, the guy wants like 50 million or maybe even more. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, they might do something like that. Just let him try to work something, negotiate with another team, and just try to pick up 2 first-round picks for him, right? I mean, look, they made the playoffs last year without him. Where he got into the playoffs without him. But anyway, New England Patriots. Right, because they're getting a little old. They're maybe souring a little bit on Mac Daddy Jones a little bit. His first year he looked kind of okay, but he's just. I didn't really never thought he was that super special. Not that he's horrible, but I don't know if he's the kind of quarterback that you can ride off into the sunset with. And then of course the Tennessee Titans too. They could use a quarterback. There's other teams that can use quarterbacks as well too. So the Giants could certainly. If they wanted to go and play a little hardball, okay, go Daniel, go get him. All right, go out and negotiate. We'll put this tag on you, okay? And, if we can't match that offer, we don't want to match that offer, whatever, go sign with them and we'll get 2 first-round picks. It would stink, but that's a possibility, right? Let's see, what do we got here? He wants 45. It's the way it's. You come in here, the other team, they come in low, and you meet somewhere in the middle. So maybe it might be around 40 million. Giants trying to give him 35, 36, 37. Maybe he wants 45. We'll give you 40. They're just not going to let him go. Obviously, if worst comes to worst, they're going to franchise tag him, and then maybe work on the next 3, 4, 5 months trying to work out some type of long-term deal. Right. But I said, if all that money, if they put franchise tag, all that's going right to the salary cap. Now the salary cap is just dwindled big time. Now you're starting to scramble, right? because you were trying to maybe like Kenny Golladay go after June 1st, then you can save like 13 and a half million or so. If you cut him before June 1st, you're only going to save like $6.5 million. So I'm sure they were trying to let him go after June 1st so they can, save a lot. I mean, that 13 and a half million, like I said, that's the draft class plus some extra money going into the season. But I mean, if they're going to wind up franchise tag and maybe Daniel Jones, right? That money goes straight toward the salary cap. Now maybe they got to start scrambling. I mean, where are they going to get money at to sign Saquon, right? I mean, where are they going to get money to sign anybody else, right? So then they have to start scrambling. So they have to start scrambling maybe to maybe rework Leonard Williams' contract, maybe maybe extend him another 2 years. So I mean, his cap hit this year is $32 million. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? $32 million. So I mean, try to work his contract where maybe this year extend him a couple of years to get his cap hit to come way down, maybe drop it down around 20 or so, or it can maybe save yourself another $12 million. But I mean, John's got a boatload of free agents out there. They got, I'm sure they're not going to try to re-sign all of them. Obviously, I don't think they could possibly sign all of them. But I mean, they got to want to try to bring some of the guys back. But I mean, if you're franchise tagging Daniel Jones, I mean, because if you could work it out with you got Daniel Jones and you can get his salary cap hit this year to be around $20 million. Well, now you can maybe think about bringing Julian Love back for $5, $6, $7, $8 million a year, right? Just, maybe, I don't know, they're going to maybe get Sterling Shepard back maybe for $1 million or $2 million, something low because he keeps getting injured. Maybe, I don't know, think about maybe bringing Feliciano back. I mean, there's Richie James. There's so many guys. I mean, obviously we can't sign them all back because then we have to sign Daniel Jones, or we're going to try to sign Daniel Jones. But I mean, if he wants like $45 million, Aaron Rodgers is making $50 million. Russell Wilson is making $49 million. All right, Kyler Murray, he's making $46 million. Deshaun Watson's making $46 million. I mean, it's like, what do all these guys have in common? They all missed the playoffs this year, right? You know why? Because they think they might want too much money. It doesn't leave much left for the rest of the team to bring in good quality talent, right? I mean, obviously you got Patrick Mahomes at $45 million. Josh Allen is at 43. Matt Stafford's at 40. Prescott's at 40. Then you got the little drop. You got the Kirk Cousins, but now you're going to start having the new sheriffs in town, right? Right, the Justin Herberts, the Trevor Lawrence, the Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow. I mean, what's that freaking dude going to get, huh? Talking about a new sheriff. How about Joe Burrow? What's he going to get, right? So I'm sure he's going to get at least 50, if not more. I mean, I've been hearing, I'm down in Philly country down here. I'm kind of hearing Hurts wants close to 50. So it'd be interesting to see. But I mean, right now, I mean, he's asking for the same. I mean, if it's 45 if it's true, right? He's asking to get paid the same amount as Patrick Mahomes. I mean, this is where some of this just makes me shake my head. Like Kyler Murray. So you mean to tell me, Kyler, that you want more money than Patrick Mahomes? Well, I'm sorry. How many Super Bowls have you? How many playoffs games have you won? I don't even know. Have they even won a playoff game with Kyler Murray? You want what? How much? What? I'm sorry. Is this a joke? I mean, you serious? I mean, absolutely unbelievable. And Deshaun Watson. I mean, that's just pretty much the Browns' fault. They just threw everything at Deshaun Watson because they were very desperate to get a quarterback. Deshaun will give you $3 trillion a year and we'll guarantee every penny of it. Okay, just please come play for us because we need a quarterback. But I mean, some of these guys, it's something just scratching my head. But I mean, so he's asking for as much money as Patrick Mahomes. Now, obviously, what he asks for and what he gets is two totally separate things. But I mean, he's what he's asking for is there's only like 4 guys making more than $45 million a year, and one of the guys making 45 is Patrick Mahomes. I mean. Guy's been to 3 Super Bowls, has 2 Super Bowl rings, has been to 3 Super Bowls. I mean, and you want as much money as him. Okay. All right. But as I said, but, just meet in the middle someplace. Right. I said, I mean, the Giants got a lot of options. I said, the transition, the non-exclusive tag has its benefits to it because it gives the Giants an option to let him go or come back with a deal. And the Giants have an option. Oh, yeah. The Commanders are really going to give you 44 a year. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit steep for us. All right. All right, pal. It's been nice. Have a good one, brother. Good luck in Washington land. But we'll take those 2 first-round picks from the Commanders. As I said, then they have the franchise tag, which is slap it right on them, $32.5 million, 32.4, but it's all guaranteed money going right toward that salary cap, right? So instead of 43.5, now you got like 11 million. Right, doesn't leave much money to sign Saquon and Julian Love and maybe try to get, I don't know, just saying Gates back, Feliciano, Slayton, Richie James, whoever. Don't leave much money. So, I mean, it certainly would behoove the Giants to work out some kind of contract. But, I mean, when he went to athletes first, I mean, they a couple of the bigger contracts. One of them was Aaron Rodgers. So, I mean, they got, the interest in mind, okay, of the players. I mean, I was listening to Boomer Esiason, obviously former NFL MVP himself, very good quarterback. One more time, he's a very good quarterback. He was saying, listen to me, I think he said the agents get around like 3% or so, which, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's it's hard, but I mean, they do a good job, right? They're in there for the interest of their players. I mean, so I mean, you look at 3%. It's, I mean, it is. I mean, if you make it, if the deal's $50 million a year, they're going to get $1.5 million of it. But I mean, that they're in there for the interest of the players. So I mean, instead of Daniel Jones going in there and trying to negotiate himself or have somebody else in there, he's somebody going in there playing hardball for him. So. But it's certainly interesting. Certainly interesting. And because you got, I think is it the 13th? I think it is. There's the tampering just before free agency starts, like 2 days or so before free agency starts. That's when you can start maybe like doing a little bit of tampering, trying to contact the players or their agents or whatever, see if they have any interest or however that winds up going. So. I mean, we're kind of running out of time because you figure that's 2 weeks there. Got to wait. So we got like 3 weeks and free agency starts. So, I don't know if the Giants, the Giants are going to do something within the next couple of weeks. I mean, they're either going to throw the franchise tag, tag on. Well, I mean, basically, if they don't put the tag on them by March 8th, I mean, they either have to come up with a deal or he's a free agent and he can just walk away, right? If they don't put a tag on him. So they got 2 weeks to put, actually starting tomorrow. They can put a tag on him starting tomorrow. All right. So, I mean, and then they got 2 weeks to put the tag on him and then, they can try to work out some kind of a deal or whatever, but I mean, I'm sure they're working hard on that. It's interesting to see, kind of wondering like where, are they working on Daniel Jones and Saquon at the same time? They're trying to get Daniel Jones done first, and then maybe think about Saquon. Obviously, Daniel Jones is the more important one, the quarterback of the franchise. So, but it'd be interesting to say. But it won't be much longer now. We'll start hearing something soon. But then I also started looking at kind of like, how about I went over like the offensive linemen, went over running backs, went over wide receivers. I mean, there are some tight ends out there. Okay. Now, obviously, one of them is Evan Ingram. Now, I don't know that he's ever coming back. But unfortunately, a couple of the guys, I mean, like Dalton Schultz, like obviously some of these guys can get franchise tag too, or they can, or they could wind up. I mean, as of right now, a lot of these guys, as far as I know, aren't signed. Okay. But I mean, that doesn't mean that they're going to wind up guaranteeing 100% leaving their team. as I said, the teams could, starting tomorrow, put some type of a franchise tag on him. Like I said, like Dalton Schultz. I think they put the franchise tag on him last year. I believe it was. Okay. But I mean, like with Evan Ingram, I mean, he obviously had a very good year last year, but it's going to Pro Football Focus. That's all I'm going by here, right? Dalton Schultz might command a $14.5 million a year, right? Salary. That's not happening with the Giants. Evan Ingram, he had a very good year last year. Really helped himself out. Okay. I think he made 9 or 10 million, I think it was, with the Jags. But I mean, according to Pro Football Focus, is all I'm going by, right? They got him a 3-year deal, right? Right around 12.75 million per season. So that you can forget about that, all right, with the Giants. They got Mike Gesicki, okay, who grew up a Giant fan. They got him at $13 million a year, so you can forget that. Let's see, Hayden Hurst from Cincinnati, 3 years. They got him at $9.5 million a year. Austin Hooper, $8.5 million a year. Foster Moreau, 3 from. I mean, I tell you what, between Waller and Moreau, the Raiders had themselves a nice tandem there of tight ends. They got him projected a $9 million a year salary. So, I mean, some of the top guys out there, there's a bunch of them. I forgot, who was it? I even forgot how old this guy, Mercedes Lewis. He's almost like 30. I forgot how old he was. He's almost 39 years old with Green Bay. My God. But the one who had the most receiving yards last year, okay, was Evan Ingram, 766. Dalton Schultz was second, I believe, 577 receiving yards. Right? Gesicki had 316, but they didn't use him as much. Okay, the new coaching regime. All right. Austin Hooper had 444 receiving yards. Robert Tonyan, 470 receiving yards. Hayden Hurst had 414 receiving yards. You know, I mean, there are guys out there. There's some guys, obviously, a lot of them are older. Swaim is 29. He'll be 30. Manhurts is 31. Will be 31 soon. Mercedes Lewis will be 39. Ryan Griffin is going to be 33. Kyle Rudolph. We remember him, right? He was 33. What the? He had, wow, Jesus God. He had 28 yards receiving this past season, according to Spot Track. 28 yards. The guy, all they could get the guy was 28 yards receiving. It's absolutely amazing. But he's 33. Irv Smith, he only had 182 receiving yards this year. So, I mean, there's guys out there, okay? Some of the better ones, you know, who are going to be more productive, obviously, are probably, since the Giants are, you know, trying to maybe re-sign Saquon and Daniel Jones and all that and everything, you know, they're going to be a little too rich for the Giants. But, I mean, the Giants got like 5 tight ends on their roster, okay? They got Myrick, the fullback / tight end, okay? Then they got Dre Miller, okay, the fullback / tight end. I'm just looking at the Giants depth chart here, okay? So they got Dre Miller and Chris Myrick, all right? Then we got Nick Vannett, okay? Then we got Lawrence Cager, right? And then, of course, we got Daniel Bellinger. So we got tight ends, okay? A lot of them are young guys, too. I mean, how old Vannett? How old? Where did he go? Here he is. He's 20. Oh, he's 29. Yeah, all right. 29. All right. But obviously, Bellinger, we just drafted him. So he's just a baby. He's just 22. And Cager, he's been around for a couple of years. He's 25. Okay, so Cager, all right. So Cager's 25. Cager's 6'5". He's tall. All right. So, I mean, the Giants have some tight ends. I wouldn't be surprised if they added another one in the draft, right? I mean, they did well enough as it was without trying to overuse the tight end position. I don't want to say overuse. I mean, you know, but I mean, you know, Bellinger got his catches. All the other guys got some catches. We didn't have a super spectacular, you know, amount of weapons to work with. Now, obviously, once again, everything's all relative. If you get better wide receivers, that opens things up for the tight ends and all, So don't be surprised if the Giants don't want to take if they do take another tight end in the draft, all right, to add to the Bellinger. I mean, we got Bellinger in the 4th round, right? He worked out pretty well. And, as I said, dude's just 22 years old. Let's hope the guy can stay healthy. Let's hope the guy, after his contract's up, let's hope the Giants can just keep signing him again, all right? So I think better times ahead of Bellinger for sure, especially if he works on his craft. But I mean, don't be surprised if the Giants, don't wind up drafting another tight end in the draft. But we got a bunch of them. We got 5. And as I said, just the way it is right now with trying to with this Daniel Jones contract here, possibly $40 to $45 million, right? That's taking up it's going to take up quite a bit of the salary cap money. And then I said, then we got a ton of other guys that we're going to want to resign. So maybe Saquon might be one of them. So we're not going to have a boatload of money. So a lot of those upper echelon guys who, like I said, like Gesicki and Schultz, Ingram, a lot of those guys like that, the guys are going to command $10 million plus per season. They're just out of the Giants. Out of their reach right now. The Giants aren't, they do spend that much money. It ain't going to be on a tight end. There'll be somebody. So we get one nice little juicy, person, free agent we bring in. I don't think it's going to be a $10 million a year tight end. I can see maybe an offensive lineman or maybe a linebacker, inside linebacker, maybe a cornerback, maybe a wide receiver, something like that. But if we're going to be spending like $10 million a year on a free agent this year, it won't be a tight end. But all right, guys, we're at 42, almost 42 minutes. I got 3 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It means the world to me. It really does. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.